Welcome to the Transom Podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transom.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
Hello and welcome to podcast number 106 for the month of September 2023, which, without breaking tradition, begins with the puzzle of the month. Let's go. A dartboard breaks into two pieces. The sum of the numbers on one piece is twice the sum of the numbers on the other piece. Where was the break? So this is a classic dartboard. If you'd like to see a picture, I've put one in the newsletter, transom.org/newsletter. And that's the place where you'll find the links to all the other things I talk about in this podcast, such as the digital darts game, which is extremely popular and requires a lot of mental work in adding up the scores, a lot of adding and subtracting. Now, you could play this game while thinking about the puzzle, but as a subscriber, you can also change some of the parameters. For example, you could change the total being 501 that you work down from to being 301. And now I've added a link so that subscribers can change these variables and then send a link to the digital darts page containing these updated variables to their students. Thanks for Laurie for the suggestion for that. And again, the link is in the newsletter. Back to school, did you say? Haha, yes, I know. This time of year, a lot of schools in the Northern Hemisphere have either gone back or are about to start the new school year. Don't worry, I've got you covered. So from equipment lists to introductory activities, you'll find many great ideas on the Back to School page. Again, link in the description, or you could just go to the Transom website and search for Back to School in the little search box there, and you'll find it. What else is new on the Transom website? What have I been doing during August? Well, the number stairs has been given a complete rewrite. Easy for me to say. It's a number investigation that requires the introduction of some algebra. There are many ways this investigation can be extended, so it really is open-ended. The possibilities stretch to infinity and beyond, to quote a wooden actor. Anyway, that's the number stairs investigation, link in the newsletter. Where am I with algebra? Well, that's a title of something I put together when I was about to meet a new student and I didn't know how strong their algebra skills were. So this is something that maybe a tutor would use with a new student to get a quick feel of their where they're at and give them an idea of what to do next. The Maths General Knowledge quiz now has a level 3. If level 1 is for lower secondary, level 2 is more appropriate for upper secondary, then level 3, containing questions such as what is the smallest positive integer that is exactly divisible by all the numbers from 1 to 10? Well, that's probably more suitable for the lovely outliers, those higher achieving students and adults. Give it a go if you want just sort of a bit of fun 10-question quiz on some maths ideas. Temperatures now has additional levels. And the main focus of the temperatures exercise has always been working with negative numbers in context. So now a new level has been added and a link has been provided to additional exercises on converting between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Can you remember those formulas? I can never remember them. So have a look at that. The currency converter, well, it's not quite an exercise or an investigation. It's just basically a currency converter. It's very minimalist because I found that a lot of the ones on the web, there's so many different aspects to them that it's not very easy to very, very quickly type in a currency and get a conversion. So I tried to create one that had no bells and whistles at all. You just type in a number, choose the currency from and to, and get the answer. Have a look at that if you're interested. Now, thanks to Laurie Johnson again for pointing out a possible ambiguity in the rounding exercise. I've since added a little clarification in the Help tab. I've adapted an article from Wikipedia.
The significance of trailing zeros in a number not containing a decimal point can be ambiguous. For example, it may not always be clear if the number 1300 is precise to the nearest unit, and just happens coincidentally to be an exact multiple of 100, or if it is only shown to the nearest hundreds due to rounding or uncertainty. The following widely recognized options are available for indicating the significance of number with trailing zeros. 1. Eliminate ambiguous or non-significant zeros by changing the units. For example, the precision of measurement specified as 1300 grams is ambiguous, while if stated as 1.30 kilograms, it is not. 2. Eliminate ambiguous or non-significant zeros by using scientific notation. For example, 1300 with 3 significant figures becomes 1.30 times 10 to the power 3. 3. Explicitly state the number of significant figures possibly by using the abbreviation SSF or sig figs. 4. State the expected variability explicitly with a plus-minus sign, as in 2,000 plus or minus 1%. This also allows specifying a range of precision in between powers of 10.
Now, for the purpose of answering the questions in the rounding exercise, the aforementioned methods are not necessary because your typed answers appear on the same page as the instructions stating the number of significant figures. So, there's no ambiguity. So, you don't need to worry about that, but I think it's good general knowledge to know of those techniques for making your written numbers extremely clear.
You can find Transom Mathematics at www.transom.org.
How do they say the number 92 in some European countries? Apparently, I'm looking at a little map now showing the countries of Europe, and it looks like in Germany they say 2 plus 90. In France they say 4 20s add 12. And in Denmark they say 2 plus, open brackets, 5 minus 0.5, close brackets, times 20. Is that true? Are there any Danish speakers out there that could clarify that? It seems a very difficult way to get that number 92. Anyway, talking about numbers, pun intended, how would you say the number 1500? Is it 1500 or 1500? Are both methods equally valid? Or are there contexts in which you would use one rather than the other? Or do you have a personal preference? Lots of questions and not many answers today. Anyway, saying numbers out loud is quite important, isn't it? You do need to be able to say those numbers and work out the way you say them quite quickly. So the 19th of September lesson starter is based on this theme. Now that date is also Talk Like a Pirate Day. Oh, our Jim lads. So I couldn't resist the temptation to combine these ideas. So if you go for the pirate theme for the starter, the numbers will start appearing on the screen. And basically they are numbers in a pirate context, just to give it a bit of a theme and get engagement from the students. But the numbers start to get, well, they keep doubling basically, so they get quite big quite quickly. And the challenge is to see how far you can get saying the number correctly while the number is still on the screen. And if you find yourself out of your depth, you may have to walk the plank. Okay, finally, the answer to last month's puzzle, which was the average or mean age of the 4 calamity cousins is 20. The average age of the 2 youngest cousins is 14. The average age of the 2 cousins who each have both younger and older cousins is 18. The second youngest is half the age of the oldest. What is the range of their ages? Well, the answer is, when you've figured it out, their ages turn out to be 12, 16, 20 and 32. So the range, the largest, subtract the smallest, 32 minus 12 is 20. The first 5 people to send in a correct answer were Marla Baduri, Chris Smith, Richard Bell, Alan Christie and Will Ransom. Thank you so much for getting in touch with your answer to the puzzle. It's really great to hear from you after the newsletter's gone out. So well done. And well, I've included Richard's working, by the way, in the newsletter. So you can see how he's used a bit of algebra to get the answers. So that's transom.org/newsletter. So that's about it. Apart from to say that today is the origin of the rest of your life. Adopt a negative squared attitude. Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transom podcast. You can find the website at www.transom.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transom subscriber.